speaking of delusion, and someone who not only should he bend the knee to me, he actually should bring me a bottle of Malbec and give me a cut of his last oil deal that he helped facilitate. Former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair was speaking recently to British BBC News, and he has acknowledged that while he had previously entirely categorically rejected the notion that Jeremy Corbyn could be prime minister, now he sees it could happen.
You've obviously reflected quite a lot over the last month on the election result. Was there anything about it which made you question what you thought you knew about politics?
Yes, in the sense that not just this election result, but Brexit, the Trump victory in the US, what's happening all over Europe.
Did you see any of the other two coming, by the way?
No.
So you've had three surprises.
Yep,
I feel
exactly.
a little better
and
about myself.
And unless you're just completely willing to reflect, then you should reflect. Here's what I think. I think that there is a real desire for change, a real sense of inequality and insecurity, and we have to deal with that. I still believe that if the centre puts forward strong, radical solutions, but which are based on what I would call, solutions that align with the future, I still think that position beats everything else. For most of my political life, I've been saying, I think this is the right way to go, and what's more, it's the only way to win an election. I have to qualify that now. I have to say, no, I think it's possible you end up with Jeremy Corbyn as Prime Minister.
So you accept that he could possibly win on the platform he's on?
I think you can't rule anything out in today's politics. But it doesn't stop me believing that if we deliver Brexit and at the same time are delivering the programme that he has at the moment, unreconstructed, unchanged, we will be in for a very, very difficult time as a country.
So Tony Blair, who inequality skyrocketed under his leadership, he also mitigated it in some ways, actually, like Lula, with more social and NHS investment, and introducing a minimum wage, but who was an articulator and a presider over really two of the main things that have destroyed the neoliberal consensus and helped put us in the world we're in today: the invasion of Iraq and a global neoliberal regime of deregulation and facilitating and harmonizing international laws of commerce to favor corporations at the expense of everything else, has pivoted with what is electorally viable, but is still saying that somehow Jeremy Corbyn and a genuine left program is not of the future, while actually sounding like a completely broken record of the 1990s. What is the future? The future is something that is entirely determined by policy, and dealing with and responding to the defining crisis of our time in terms of inequality is actually precisely the future-oriented agenda that we need to deal with. So Tony Blair, while saying that Corbyn is out of date, but he gets that the electorate is upset, is going back to the same old prayer book. And, this is why we've got to watch Emmanuel Macron very closely. Macron is very good on climate change, but he is the last hope of an unreconstructed third wayism, which is going to always repeat the mantras of being future-oriented and innovative. And now we'll talk Silicon Valley and apps and startups because that's the trendy new lingo. But the policy frameworks and the fusion of sort of some steps of social progress with attacks on working people, attacks on social safety nets, and a sort of indifference at best to inequality, well, that's as dated as what was the little guy that used to do with the AOL dial-ups? It's stuck in the 1990s. It's stuck in the dial-up era. It's not present politics, and never let them own that language.
Hi, folks. Sam Seder here. We still need your help on our Patreon page. YouTube ads have come back, but not nearly as much as we had before. So if you can help us out, any little bit helps. Head over to our Patreon page right at this URL, and you'll help us keep helping you by making videos